I'm sure you've heard of the term red pill when it comes to dating, politics, nutrition, and fitness. In this video, I want to discuss the red pill in context of careers, the office environment, and working in the finance industry. You've probably heard the term alpha male or beta male many times online, particularly when you hear the term red pill, it comes up all the time. But I want to explain to you whether these concepts actually work in the work environment and how you could best manage those type of scenarios. For example, does the alpha male really succeed at work, right? If you go to work and you're overly assertive, maybe a little bit aggressive, you maybe have a tough guy type of persona at work, you're super disciplined and focused. These Andrew Tate types or Elliot Hulse types you might have seen on YouTube. I think in reality, the way it really plays out, because the workplace environment is, I would say, to put it nicely, less accommodating to men. It can be perceived as a bit intimidating in the office environment. People can feel like you're talking down to them if you're overly assertive. There's a bit of a crabs in a bucket mentality. So if you're doing something positive in your life, maybe being more confident, being more direct, people can take it the wrong way and say you're being aggressive or rude to them. So, unfortunately, the office environment is somewhat anti the way a man would normally communicate. And it's something you should bear in mind when you are working in the office environment. So, this kind of stereotypical perspective you probably hear from the Andrew Tate types that working in the office environment, you have to be a bit direct. Or to succeed, you have to be a bit direct. I think that works when you're running your own business, but when you're working in the office environment, you have to be a bit more nuanced and careful around how other people could perceive that, because it could be perceived quite negatively. Um, so I would advise that if you are in the office environment, you do play down being a bit too direct with people, being a bit too, it's become a bit of a cringe term now, right? But if you're too alpha or too direct to people, they can take it the wrong way. Um, and then also when it comes to making jokes, now normally there'll be a lot of banter, I think, amongst men, this type of the way we socialize with each other and kind of joke around with each other. But in the office environment, people can take it really the wrong way, because if you make a joke about someone, they might find it offensive. But if they make a similar joke about you, it might just be considered okay. There's very many gray areas there. The whole concept of beta male that people kind of mention online as a contrasting point is it's a bit of an oversimplification, the whole thing that you probably see all the time on YouTube. I think in the office environment, if you want longer term career stability, it makes sense not to be too direct with people, to be a bit overly nice, a bit overly friendly, or just be quite neutral and not come across too direct or too submissive, too dominant or too submissive. Just be quite neutral. I think that's what works best. And if there was a wrong way to manage the workplace environment and office politics, it would be being too direct, because people would take that the wrong way. If you're a bit quiet or a bit indirect, people don't see that as a threat to their career or threat to their position. And that's probably a better way of handling things. And in terms of co-workers, you have to be conscious that they do provide feedback to your manager in terms of your performance reviews. So say you're, super enthusiastic, super assertive, super focused on getting work done, but people take it the wrong way, then you have to be conscious that those co-workers will provide that feedback back to your management. And if they do provide it back to your management and you get a reputation for being too direct with people, then it might not work well for your career and career progression. And you might be overlooked for promotions, even though you think being direct, being assertive, being super focused and disciplined, it can come across the wrong way. So think about your position on where you are, like a position on a chessboard. You have the king, the queen, the knights, the bishops, the rooks, all these the pawns, different positions on the chessboard, and you have a particular position on that chessboard, and people don't want you to come out of your position. They'll be like, "Oh, this guy's too assertive for someone who's just a bishop on the chessboard. You're too assertive to be. You're a knight on the chessboard. Why are you playing the position of the king, right?" And people are very conscious of this type of hierarchy in the workplace environment, even if they go on and on about equality and things like that. They're very conscious of who's on what position on that hierarchy, and if anyone steps even slightly outside of that, it can come across the wrong way. And I'll give you a funny example. I was working for an American investment bank. And at the time, the manager of the team suggested having a team social event, which was great, no problem with that. And it was like a picnic in Hemel Hempstead, like North London. And what I suggested to him, or what I suggested on the team, he was saying, "Oh, which day should we meet?" Things like that. And he came up with his own date. And then I was being a bit assertive, like, "Oh, well, maybe we shouldn't do that day. Maybe we should do another day." While the whole team was quietly just being submissive and agreeing with whatever opinion he had, even if it contradicted itself. And then you took it the wrong way. So it's very, you've got to be very careful with, how sensitive people are in the workplace environment. The two videos on your screen right now are recommended to you, and they'll be very helpful for your career. There is a free ebook in the description also, which you can check out to help your career. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you in the next video.